Oh, Doherty. It's Jack Doherty.
We're talking about this?
Internet personality Jack Doherty.
This is in the doc?
Yeah. A 21-year-old who's primarily known for controversial prank videos crashed his McLaren during a live stream this past weekend. Footage of the incident appears to show him speeding in rainy conditions while glancing back and forth at a phone in his hand before he loses control of the vehicle, crosses multiple lanes of traffic, and hits a guardrail. Doherty continued filming the aftermath of the accident. His cameraman, Michael David, who was sitting in the passenger seat, had his head injured in the accident and later received stitches. At one point in the footage from the crash site, Doherty hands the device to David, who is bleeding from a head wound, and instructs him to continue filming. When another young man suggests that someone else should take over filming from David, seeing as his face appeared to be injured, Doherty prevents anyone from taking over, instead giving the concerned man another device to film with and telling him to make it look good. Some images that Mr. Doherty posted to Instagram appear to show him posing shirtless with the wreck. Note that he was wearing a shirt when the accident occurred. Some online observers noted that Doherty re-uploaded edited clips of the aftermath of the accident, but not his actions immediately preceding the crash, so it wasn't obvious that he was on his phone. This is why this is on topic. Streaming site Kick has removed his account and given him a lifetime ban for violating a community guideline prohibiting reckless behavior and the endangerment of others. So this is actually what I want to talk about. Have we found the line? And if this is the line, why wasn't the line setting off fireworks indoors?
Oh, did that happen?
Or not from whatever his name is.
Not him?
Not from Jack, no, but
somebody on
that's
Kick.
Definitely something that has actually occurred.
Did you see the stuff that happened at TwitchCon?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Kick streamers were just like straight up harassing people at TwitchCon.
Cool.
It's very cool. Very cool, very cool.
Kick is not Microsoft D-Starfire.
Not that any form of content creation is honestly like just a bastion of perfect people.
No.
But I think Kick has a pretty bad rap for a reason.
And the indoor fireworks thing was actually not. That was not on Kick. I think that was on Twitch.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I guess the conversation is like, have we finally reached the line? Because
indoor fireworks thing, that was KSI, right? That was fake.
Someone definitely actually did it at some point.
Okay.
I don't know who.
All right. The KSI one, or not KSI, yeah, sorry, Kai Cenat. That one was, I think it was a Mr. Beast and Kai Cenat thing, and it was faked.
Yeah, someone definitely did it at some point. Apparently iShowSpeed actually did it, says chat. Okay, so cool. Anyway, the point is that as someone who grew up in the generation of, like, when I was a kid heading into adolescence and teenagehood, like CKY,
to become a man, you have to crash your McLaren.
Jackass,
back in the day.
Tom Green, this kind of shock, do anything humor.
Yeah.
I've kind of watched it progress to the point where, we stopped doing these things under professional supervision on closed courses. We started doing more and more, not just insane, but inane things. I saw this really unsettling footage of someone breaking their back doing the milk crate challenge.
What is that?
You stack milk crates to make stairs.
Okay.
Like, those square milk crates. And then you see how high you can go. Except that the problem is that by the time you're high enough that it's unstable, you're like 6 to 8 feet up. And if you fall onto milk crates, that should give you like a pretty good idea of what's going to happen. And I guess I've just been kind of sitting here patiently waiting for either people to get smarter, which I'll probably be waiting a long time.
Yeah.
Or for, whether it's platforms or regulators or parents, I don't know, for someone to kind of say, hey, okay, that's the limit. That's the limit there. It's time to stop. And is this finally it?
So operating your phone while driving is the limit?
Well, the thing is that I don't even know if that's And to be clear, it's dumb and reckless, and it's because you're streaming, driving, poor conditions, and operating a phone. And then I think that's already bad, but I think it's sort of
which parts are bad? Because we've recorded videos while driving. So is the streaming portion bad?
It's the flagrant disregard, I think, for any kind of consequences after the fact.
But that's an impossible thing to measure.
No, you're right. It's totally impossible to measure. I mean, it's a compound problem, I think. Context menu, I think, kind of nailed it. Any one of those things, I would say is compared to the kind of stuff other people are streaming online, right? Because we're not talking about whether those things were wrong and bad. Absolutely wrong and bad. What we're talking about is
streaming while driving wrong and bad?
The line. I don't think it has to be. Okay. I think if you have a fixed GoPro on your dash, and
it's basically the same thing as like talking on the phone.
It's basically comedians in cars or whatever.
Yeah,
with,
exactly.
Like Seinfeld. Like, yeah. I don't think
I don't think I've ever been in a compromised position driving around for Scrapyard Wars.
There's
I mean? Like it hasn't.
There's this like super low budget Canadian show that I only know about because it was on while I was in a dentist chair and I couldn't get away from it. It's called like Cash Cab or something like that. Yeah, here we go. Oh my God, it's an American show. It's actually a whole thing. Well, there was a
I have no idea.
Okay, well, it was definitely on a Canadian channel, and they were definitely driving around a Canadian city, and it was like the production value was garbage. So I think it must have been like a Canadian ripoff of it.
Oh yeah, Cash Cab Canadian game show. It's called the same thing, but there's a Canadian one.
Yeah, and it's like probably worse because it seemed pretty bad. Anyway.
200 plus episodes, 8 seasons.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, the Canadian one?
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway, you're really trying to get canceled. Come on. Okay, look, I'm not saying that. Okay. The point is that clearly they're driving and like doing a trivia show. So it can be done.
Yeah.
But not in poor conditions, not while also texting, not
in poor conditions. So you can't like, this is the line I keep coming back to is like, does that mean that we can't film for Scrapyard Wars while driving when it's raining? Because like, I don't personally see the difference between streaming and recording a VOD.
I think we'd have to use our game sense. No, there's a big difference between streaming and recording a VOD because with streaming, okay, here, I'll show you the difference between streaming and recording a VOD.
Sure. Well, no, because you don't have to go on your phone.
I'm showing you the difference.
You don't have to go on your phone.
Well, I'm showing you the difference.
What are you doing?
Okay, so continuing with the show, I can take a break.
Gotcha.
If I need my focus,
you can just be a bad streamer and take a break, though.
But you won't, because when you're streaming, right? But how many? What's your typical concurrence? Okay. Like you're not fighting algorithmically for relevance.
This
really,
isn't my thing.
You don't care.
Yeah.
And so when you're streaming, there's this constant pressure to be on, to be talking about something, to be changing the subject, to be changing what people are looking at. Oh my God, it's producer Dan. Oh, and he's gone.
But like, I think that's my where I said like you don't have to go on your phone because like if you're streaming,
sure,
you're gonna want to see chat, but someone else could see chat. Someone else could be producing. Sure. Someone else could be doing these other things. Someone else could be making sure that there isn't gaps in the entertainment of the stream.
But that's the problem is they didn't. So it's like, a compound problem.
Samit has streamed while drifting and not had a problem.
Yeah. And so I'm not saying that just being on stream is necessarily a problem, but you have to have the game sense. And that to me is the difference with a VOD. With a VOD, I think it's easier to turn on your game sense.
Sure.
And go, okay, I got an update for you. We gotta merge onto the highway. Let's do it when we're on the highway. Cause like I've had that kind of back and forth with my camera operator where like, okay, one example was I was going somewhere where I didn't want to dox the person I was traveling to.
Yep, I've done that too.
And so I was like, okay, I've got to write down, there's a few things I want to address in this next clip. If you can note those down. And then I'm going to turn around on this highway. so that from the last shot that they see, we'll be going in like 2 different directions, and it's going to be super bamboozly. Points if anybody like noticed that in the video. It was pretty funny. Anyway, so let's do that, and then you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you guys, especially because in earlier Scrapyard Wars, you guys probably saw me on my phone while I was driving anyway. So I'll like glance at it, and then okay, let's do the clip. While we're just cruising at highway speed, I am a very defensive driver, so I will typically not have anyone on either side of me. I will always accelerate past someone or brake to be behind them. Like
Being
never.
beside someone feels so uncomfortable.
I hate it.
Oh my God.
I apparently got a ticket and left it in. I forgot about that.
I don't remember that at all. That's
hilarious. Funny. Anyway, so I tend to be a very defensive driver. That doesn't. I'm not saying good driver, guys. I'm saying defensive driver. I don't like to be near other things that are moving. And so if I'm at cruising speed and there's nobody near me, no, I don't think that it's going to be the end of the world if I like glance toward my lens for a second or two, for emphasis or, for whatever it is that I'm doing hosting a thing.
It's the same thing as glancing towards your passenger, which everybody does.
But streaming is in my mind a different beast unless you're really in a mindset where you're not trying to be on the whole time, but so many streamers are. They're trying to be constantly engaging.
If that's your thing, you probably are trying to constantly be engaging because that's how you perform in the streaming world, which makes sense.
Sigma Salt says, unless you're ignoring chat, it's over the line 100%. I think that's honestly a pretty good point.
Where'd it go?
Having his friend recording the aftermath while bleeding also didn't help.
Yeah. Crystal D said, but the issue was speeding, looking at his phone, and doing that while hydroplaning. And I understand that. My point is that if we try to draw a line, but the line is like, I don't know, then it's not a line. So we need to define the things that cross the line. So like you're saying, like maybe streaming sites should ban streaming while driving.
I don't know.
While being the driver.
I mean, can we?
I don't necessarily think it's inherently a problem.
No,
I am 100% certain that even if I tried to be consistently entertaining, I could stream and drive at the same time, no problem. I'm 100% confident in that.
You wouldn't be able to be engaging and entertaining, though.
With other people
audience.
in the car, though.
With the other people in the car, easy.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
If there's no one else in the car, I do agree with you.
Yeah.
Because then you're not reading chat. Unless you're doing something, unless you're like a rally driver, a drift car person, doing something unique. If you're driving through a city, unless your stream literally is like POV driving through city.
Yeah.
Then, I don't know. Try it. I think I like literally have. I've streamed while snowboarding. Like I've done weird stuff and it's never been an issue for me. But I also have never had that be my career, so I have never cared. And if I needed to not be entertaining for a while, I would just not be entertaining for a while. So I also have that benefit, which isn't fair. Yeah. Is the line just like committing a crime while streaming? That's effectively the line for Flowplane. You can't break the law.
Yeah. That's
what we did. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess there's just a lot of things that like are horrible and stupid, but not a crime. Like I know I come back to this a fair bit, but it was just so egregious. Like when Dr. Disrespect was streaming from the bathroom at, I think it was at TwitchCon or whatever it was.
I think so.
Like I don't think that's technically illegal necessarily, but it just shouldn't have to be. You shouldn't have to make that law. It should just be kind of obvious. And I guess that's the problem for me, is that we've got people just pushing the boundaries of what's based on what is legal rather than what is kind of necessary and okay to do. People are saying it's illegal as far as I'm aware. Okay, maybe it is. So then
to record in a bathroom?
Like why was this a permanent ban then? And why was that a temporary ban? I mean, he ultimately did end up permanently banned anyway, but
for a different thing, I think.
Oh yeah, it was for something else. I don't know, man. And like, should Jack Doherty be able to, come back on Twitch or come back streaming on YouTube? Like, should because I know that YouTube has policies around off-platform behavior. You don't necessarily have to do something on YouTube to be banned from YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, should this just be the end? Because I don't know, guys. For some reason, I don't feel like the audience will discipline this.
Like, oh no, they'll traditionally they reward it.
I've seen people come back from worse. I don't know. When we're way up here, it's hard to tell what's farther and what's not farther over the line. Like stuff that's just obviously wrong.
If people were still watching this guy after all the stuff that he's done in the past, I don't think this is going to stop them. If anything, this was probably top tier premium content, which is the reason why we're talking about it now. And the whole freaking internet has talked about it. And he's getting more press than he's ever gotten before, despite all the crazy, deplorable things he's done in the past.
I'd never heard of him. I'll tell you that much.
I have. If he's able to be platformed somewhere, he'll get tons of views. This is not generally penalized by the internet audience. There's some people that would be like, I would. Yeah, but you weren't watching him.
Yeah.
Like, it's not you.